and welcome to Penbon Ride Beddau, where today we'll be looking into transport issues in rural Wales. The community of this small village have been outraged recently at the cancellation of their bus service, which has been replaced by a 24-hour pre-booked taxi service. Mrs. Morgan, who has been one of the campaigners against the new service, tells us more of how it works.
We used to have an hourly bus service, which was wonderful. We had complete freedom to come and go as we pleased. But now we have to ring up at least 24 hours in advance to book a taxi to take us to the next village to the bus.
Why exactly has this new service been put in place? Tommy Jones, Head of Transport, explains.
The bus service from Penbon to Beddau to Penrhyn Coch was down to something like maximum 2 people on any one run that was coming through there. But obviously this is not sustainable. You can't run a service with just 2 people using it. Our option then was to either take it away altogether or try to put something in that would be sustainable. What we've tried to do by this taxi bus service is that any bus that goes from Penrhyn Coch can now be connected to from Penbon to Beddau by taxi. All the people need to do is to ring the day before and say, we need to travel, so they can then use the taxi to travel to connect with the bus.
I thought I would try out the new service for myself, so I rang for a taxi. Here I am, waiting for my taxi. My taxi's arrived on time. This is me travelling in a taxi to go to a bus stop. The taxi drops me off 10 minutes down the road at a bus stop. And then I wait. Now I actually get on a bus. Travelling to Aberystwyth on a bus. At the end of the journey, the trip didn't seem as bad as it was made out to be, but a bit strange to take a taxi to catch a bus. If the villagers are supposed to be against the new service, why didn't they voice their opinions?
They said something about a public meeting, but I didn't know anything about a public meeting.
No.
These were all advertised in the local papers, they were advertised on Radio Ceredigion. We had, in some places, we had a very good turnout, in other places we had a very little turnout. Like any public meeting you call, you tend to get the people that have got an axe to grind. And those people then tend to be the ones that shout the loudest.
How well were people in the village informed of the changes?
There was a poster up somewhere, wasn't there?
Was there a poster up somewhere, was there?
Yeah, but only once it had been decided.
I think we have to hold our hands up there and say, yes, they were probably right. The trouble is, you can't change bus stop signs the day before or 2 days before, because people turn up and see the wrong information on the sign. So you virtually got to leave that to the last minute. But we had posters and everything planned, which got out about a week after.
Who does this new service affect the most?
There's a lady up the hill, and she often has to go in for doctor's appointments and hospital appointments. And on one occasion, she had walked all the way down in the rain, and then the taxi wasn't here. So then she had to go all the way back home again to ring up the taxi then.
So no person has actually told me that the taxi hasn't been to collect them. If somebody did ring us back and say the taxi hasn't been to collect us, we would find the taxi company because they have a contract with us to do what we asked them to do.
The worst affected are the people who have absolutely no transport, who are completely reliant on the public transport, and the young people who used to be able to come and go as they please.
And it all boils down to money again,
Yeah.
you see?
But, you know, like I said, they're willing
Because
to pay...
it's literally 10 minutes, isn't it, from Penrhyn Coch up here and back? That's all.
Yeah.
I don't want you to get the impression that it's all down to money either. It's down a lot to how many people use it. There's a slogan which our deputy council leader used, and he said, use it or lose it.
What does everybody want from their bus service in the future?
If they want to have some sort of taxi service, it's upgraded to a minibus, but have it on a regular basis, at least twice a day, if not 3 times. Twice a day, Monday to Friday, and 3 times on
That would be the
Saturday.
ideal, wouldn't it?
And just have a contract with the taxi company who's got a minibus that they just do it regardless.
Yeah.
So you know, 8 o'clock there's a bus there, 6 o'clock there's a bus home, and 2 o'clock on a Saturday there's a bus into town. Easy.
As I say, at the moment it's 24 hours in advance. We are looking at that, and quite possibly by middle of next year we will be able to offer the service at an hour's notice.
Understandably then, the changes to services was initially seen as negative by the residents of Penbontry Ryder Bevi, and although this has not been to the benefit of all, we have discovered that councillors are willing to adapt. What we need to do now then is monitor the service in places like Penbontry Ryder Bevi so that it can be implemented better when put in place in other villages.